Have you ever thought about using trading bots? I used Bitsgap in the last bull market and turned $1,000 into $50,000 within a 5-month period. I documented the whole process and put it in a playlist if you want to see that, along with other training videos and tutorials how to set bots up and make the most of the volatility of the crypto market. If you sign up with a link in the description, you'll get a 7 days free trial with no obligation to continue, and you can also use a demo account within Bitsgap so you don't have to risk your own capital. Bitsgap. Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's get started. We'll look at Bitcoin first, and if you're not bothered about anything else, we'll carry on. You can carry on with your the rest of your day. If you also wanted to, you could join my channel on Rumble. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to join there. I'm putting more videos about other stuff on there, so whether it's oil and Forex and stuff like that. So I'll keep this one mostly just crypto, but over there I'll be doing more TA on other stuff. So if you want to join that, link in the description and stuff like that. Right, let's get started. So Bitcoin, once again, here we go. Loving it. doing its thing, making another run up towards this trend line, basically. It's just more or less the $38,000 zone, 37,750. Another attempt, effectively on the shorter term time frames. We can see it over here. Another lower high, unfortunately. However, as far as the trend is concerned on the daily, still quite good, I would say. But yeah, another rejection from there. Looking to get picked up already, which is relatively bullish. It's not broken down, not broken its formation. Still looking relatively good. And obviously, all the good stuff on the weekly that we've been looking at now for since it kicked in, the trend signal on the Ichimoku cloud absolutely still intact. Would only really cancel out now if the blue crosses the red, which could happen, obviously, but we'd have to dump down towards the lower 30s, or the cheeky span closing the weekly within price action, which is it's below 28,000. So safe on that respect. I would go and basically say, as far as the trend is concerned, it seems okay to stay at the upper ranges of the 30s, and any pullback into those lower zones should really be bought, really, to be honest. 10 exponential sitting at 33,280, 21 exponential, 31,000 more or less, center range 30,000, and then many moving averages below that. So it still seems pretty good, to be honest with you. Money flow index is outside of the comfort zone, though, 85, and this is something that we like to highlight as concerning for Bitcoin. Bubble pop territory, to be honest with you. So this goes back to 2018, and this is something that I think we all should be aware of, right? We should definitely recognize this as something significant. So what I'm looking at here is this is the bubble pop 2018, basically. So 17 into 18, the $20,000 high. This is the $14,000 high from the humble beginnings of the bull market. In 2019, peaked, and then this is effectively a peak in the market when the alt season kicked in 2021. There was a massive rotation from Bitcoin into altcoins, huge rotation, and we trickled down ever since, and then found our absolute peak over here. So, with that said, this is the 4th highest read on the weekly money flow index that we've had in Bitcoin's most recent history, right? So, as I will always say, for anything that starts to get this high, just be careful, because if we do end up consolidating over an inordinate amount of time, I'm not talking like a major bear market, but the last time we saw a peak within a bull market, which is the beginning of the bull market over here, we did consolidate quite a dramatic amount, to be honest with you. Now that was a 95 read, which is always time to get out of town, really, and we consolidated basically down to this level, a 52% retracement. I don't mark this off as anything because this was basically a black swan, but more or less around the 6,600 area. So it was a pullback of over 50%. Obviously this was a lot larger than that, as was this one. The temporary pullback from the money flow index read over here was about 30%, if I remember. I can't quite recall. Yeah, about 30% over a 3-week period. So, that was a peak, definitely. Definitely was a peak, and the rotation kicked in, and altcoins went crazy. So, choose to interpret this as you will. 95, get out of town. 95, get out of town. 95, get out of town. Although we made a new high, it was still relevant to get out of Bitcoin and go into altcoins. There was more to this chart than what we're looking at here. The Bitcoin dominance had seriously peaked as well, so it was a no-brainer. But the next big peak was lower than where we are right now. So the money flow, all this indicator shows is when the volume is at its peak, and if you wanted to take profit, and if you wanted to, I suppose, you know, rinse the order books. Really, this is when you want to start thinking about doing it, especially on a weekly. So it's not the highest it's ever been. It can always go higher. It doesn't mean this is the end. It doesn't mean that at all. I'm just putting it to you that, yeah, this is the fourth highest read we've had in recent history, and every time we come up to, you know, I suppose outside of the comfort zone, it can be, well, dangerous. We'll just say it out loud, right? It can be dangerous. But that doesn't necessarily mean that altcoins will behave in the same way. Ethereum, still high, not the highest it's ever been. XRP, let's have a look at that. Absolutely plenty of room to move on that one. I just got lots of lower cap coins over here as well, so they're not particularly too interesting. I imagine Chainlinks will be quite high. It is quite high, but it can still go higher. So, you know, the theory I have last week about maybe we call it either a rotation or just alt season or alt rally, whatever you want to describe it as. Similar to the way that Bitcoin behaved in this portion of the market when we did have an overheated money flow index read, and the dominance chart, which is over here, was I suppose peaking and getting rejection. At the moment, you know, the dominance chart has managed to recover to an extent. We closed above the center range, so it's not like it used to be. It's not like it was back in that 2021 period where we were very, very high and it was so obvious that a rotation was likely to kick in. So it's not the same. It's definitely different. And, you know, looking at this chart, we wouldn't say that this is a bearish chart, would we? We'd look at this and say, well, actually, this is a bullish chart, and whether Bitcoin and the market goes down, you would expect this to trend up anyway. So I just wanted to put it to you. There's no point in hiding the fact that that something is looking a little bit scary at this point now. And I know that in the past we've seen serious runs in December. Big run up here, obviously. That was the December run. Obviously, over here, November into December. Well, actually, we peaked, didn't it, really? It peaked in November 2021. Again, yeah, we ran up here in December 20 as well. So you can get some serious runs in December. And we might see that. To be honest, this isn't 95. This isn't getting out of town. This is definitely, you know, on its way to reaching a volume peak, but it's not quite there right now. So I just wanted to put that to you. All right, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but it could, and it would be silly of me to see it and not bring it up as a talking point because, well, it's staring us right in the face. So last night I made a video on the Dixie. Dixie hitting this horizontal, and not just that, but also breaking down below a 200 simple moving average now. So Dixie does still continue to look extremely bearish. To be honest with you, not catching a breather at all. So what we think of when we look at the Dixie is the euro really is the main driver of the Dixie, and yeah, even though we're pushing this major resistance, it looks like it wants to break, and if it does break, the next move is all the way up here at 110.06 or 110.6. Sorry, that'd be the next area for major rejection. There is no trend or pump signal on this one. We've not even got golden crosses on this one either. So this is a rally that could easily get faded at some point, anytime now, and that's why I made that video last night, just to warn people about the Forex scenario. Bang, ba, ba, bang, ba, bang, ba, bang, bang. 4 drives of bearish divergence on the 4 hourly. So you see, these are, you know, I'm just putting it out there, you know, I'm just putting it to you that, you know, we might want to think about preserving our profits. It's so tempting to keep throwing our profits into the next coin and into the next coin and into the next coin, and look, that strategy will work in a raging bull market. This bull market so far has been relatively generous, even just from Bitcoin's perspective. 134% rally from the bottom to basically where we are right now. So that's pretty good. that's pretty good. I know everybody's thinking about this, but the volume these days is so different. Even though this is small volume, comparative to what we're generally used to or have been used to, this is the volume was a lot lower down here, which caused much bigger, more effective, fast felt rally. So I don't want people to get too concerned, but I think it's worth recognizing that the Dixie should be bouncing at some point soon. I know it's breaking down, it looks very, very bearish, but a bounce on that Dixie while the Bitcoin chart is pushing some serious volume heights, we might want to think about, all right, let's preserve some wealth here. Let's see how this goes, because if you do end up buying the top of an altcoin, which would be horrendous, and Bitcoin does pull back over a longer drawn out period of time, it will be wrecked city. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not a dip buyer's market, but in order to really I suppose make money throughout a downtrend, if that's what we go into, then you do have to wait for the serious dips, whether they end up being by the dips and V-shaped recoveries, or they're just serious V-shaped recoveries. Yeah, we do that, and we can do that, and we did do that in the bear market. We got two of these major big dips here on the S&P. It was pretty significant and pretty epic, to be honest, the way that we were able to trade the Everything Bounce Part 1 and the Everything Bounce Part 2. And then obviously big purchases on this level here, which was the Everything Bounce Part 3 that crypto unfortunately didn't really take part in. So anyway, it looks quite good overall. I have to say it's constructive. It's more or less what you'd expect from a 4-year market cycle model, but there is warning signs, I would say, at this point right now. And I don't like being the bearer of bad news, obviously, I hate that, but there is. So I wanted to bring it out to you, just so you can have a think about what it is that you're doing, and you're hopefully working out the risk to reward. There could still be a second portion of this alt season or the alt rally. Absolutely could see that. And I'll stand by everything that I said last week about that, because Bitcoin, like I say, we've seen it, I've shown it again today, Bitcoin can retrace, Bitcoin can pull back from a significant volume peak like it did in 2021, and altcoins benefit from that. But, with every Bitcoin pullback, pulls back an entire market. So let's just think about that. That's all I'm saying. I'm just putting it out there. Don't go too hard and too heavy just because that it feels like that is a winning strategy, because all good things do come to an end. But we, just like I suppose in 2021, Bitcoin did reach that volume peak. It did consolidate. It was a dip buyer's market. It was an alt season, and the gains were significant. So bit by bit, we'll work it out on a day-to-day basis. It's unclear as to how it will behave. Just because it did something once before doesn't mean it'll do it again. We've seen on those volume peaks on Bitcoin that it could end up being an alt season when we do this, or it could end up being a consolidation, and obviously it could end up being a bear market. I don't think this is what we're looking at. If anything, we'll be seeing something similar to this, or something similar to this. Either way, though, Bitcoin does look like it's reaching a peak, and when that happens, we should be just be careful. That's all we can be. Just be careful. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.